Hello everyone, welcome to Hold Tight. It's about to drop. Ready story incoming. r/paranormal. My first and last time in Leigh Woods experience. My name is Luke and I'm now 20 years old. This story happened to me when I was 17. This experience still gives me chills to this day. In May 2017, I found myself going out a lot more on my mountain bike. I was getting bored of cruising around the streets, so I wanted to go for a trail/woodland bike ride. I have never been to Leigh Woods before then. Personally, I don't think I'll be going alone again. After some research into few different areas, Leigh Woods seems to be my best bet. Living only a couple miles away, it was a nice bike ride. On arriving, it looked very peaceful and I was almost in a dreamlike state by my first look of the place. For a woodland area in England, let alone Bristol, it was amazing. On going into the woods, I remembered seeing different colors at the start of each trail, signifying difficulty for bikers and length for walkers. Don't take my word on that bit. I still have no clue what they mean. So I decided to go down a colored trail to see how it was there. I can't remember very well. I think it was blue. Finding it exciting, I decided to go down the harder trail. And now here's where it started to get weird. I began having this weird sort of vision, looking around as if I am being swallowed by the woodland. Everything felt like it was getting bigger and further away. I brushed it off, but it turns out I actually lost track of time. I got lost on the trail. Now bear in mind I am very observant and aware of my surroundings before this trail. I then came to a strange opening. I could go left in the rough direction of the way out or right deeper into the woods. Me being me, I decided to go deeper into the woods. I came to a weird little trail that just had dodgy written all over it, metaphorically speaking. I went against my gut feeling of turning back and went down there. I came to a point of which the trail continued, but it was getting dangerous. The trail being too bumpy for me to even walk down, I then turned back. But for a few minutes before turning back, I don't know why, but I just stood still, staring down the trail. I felt like I was being watched from all angles, even though it would be near impossible to have that many eyes surrounding me in that area. I got nervous and began walking back up the hills as I was too tired to ride at that point. Keep in mind, my bike tires are completely solid, no punctures, slow punctures or even anything wrong at all. I wish I still had pictures of the bike. Upon getting back to the spot where I originally went to the trail, that weird loss of time thing happened. It felt as if the whole path had stretched by half a mile, as if the woodland was moving. I began walking up the path, feeling that same eerie sensation of being watched as I did beforehand. This time, it felt a bit more sinister. It felt as if something was about to happen. Bearing in mind, I hadn't seen a single person at this point in time since I went down the first trail. I will explain the scenery before continuing. It's a long path, a slightly steep hill to my left, a very narrow river to my right, maybe 4 feet deep and maybe 4 feet wide. Bushes are on the other side of the river with the odd tree every now and then. Upon getting about a quarter of a way up the slowly inclining path, I hear a woman crying behind a tree up ahead. I start slowing down my walking pace to try and get a good look behind the tree, but the whole time I'm thinking to myself, why would someone jump across to climb behind a tree? So I edge closer to the river to look behind to see if the person is okay. Also because many people go to Leigh Woods to commit suicide, so I was hoping maybe help this person. But you guessed it, there was no one there and the crying stopped. A bit weird out, I just slowly turned away and started walking again, a bit quicker as I was unnerved at the time. I have had paranormal experiences before, but not usually in a place like the woods, usually in a house or some sort of a building. So this was new to me. I had this sudden shiver as I was walking, and maybe a minute or so later, only a couple meters away from where I heard the crying, it started again. But this time it was right opposite me across the river. I didn't bother looking. I started to go into a bit of a jog, and as I got faster, I heard the bushes rustling as if they or it was following me. Upon hearing this, I sped up and the crying became more and more hysterical. Bear in mind, my bike was fine before this moment in time. time. I have thought to myself, I'm gone. I have went to hop on my bike with the adrenaline that was rushing through me, and I came to almost a sudden stop. My back tire on my bike had become completely flat, so I had no other choice but to sprint with my bike and pray for the best that I don't trip up or end up having to throw it to run faster. With the crying person still close to me and keeping up, I'm running faster. I just get off this path that I was on. I had the feeling of wanting to cry because I couldn't actually do anything to help the situation or get out of it faster. And after what felt like an hour but in reality was probably only 5 or 10 minutes, I could see the car park. The crying had stopped following me, started moving back down to where I first heard it. I sprinted out into the car park. I must have been as white as a sheet of paper and hysterical with my breathing and wheezing as multiple people in the car park turned to look at me like I was crazy. I seen the exit sign out of the car park and ran towards it, and while doing so, I noticed my bike to be moving a lot smoother on approaching the car park exit. I couldn't believe that my bike tire had suddenly regained all of its air. It was solid again, as it was before the unnerving crying person shenanigans. I jumped on my bike and got away from Leigh Woods as fast as I could and have never gone back since, as every person I tell this story to becomes reluctant to go there with me or any extra people. End of actual story. Keep reading for a little extra information. The thing that makes this scary is I have Irish heritage. In Irish folklore, there is a demon woman called the Banshee. She is seen in woods next to rivers, lakes washing blood off clothes. It is said that if you see her washing blood off clothes, the person who owns those clothes will die. Alternatively, if you hear her crying, it means death. I can't remember the meaning exactly of the deaths, but it means either you or a loved one will die. Since 2017, I have lost my auntie, 2 of my best friends, and a dog. Leigh Woods is no joke. There are many stories that have came out of Leigh Woods too. You can read online about them. Search up Leigh Woods Bristol haunting. It is a rated 87th most haunted place in UK according to Hijipoop. It is a popular spot in Bristol for suicide, or it was at least. Even the ghost of Isambard Kingdom, Brunel, has been spotted there, looking over the suspension bridge in which he designed. I may submit more stories soon, as I have a couple more stories of experiences I have had over the years. Alice Jane 1010 said, "This story gave me chills. I always wonder when I read these chasing stories, why does the unknown monster let us make it out alive? It seems like whatever that was would have had the power to overtake them. Are they just scaring you off, or did you just get lucky where other people didn't?" Bronson Witch said, "Same, holy shit. The imagery was so vivid, literally so scary." Magical Girl 88 said, "Oh, this gave me shivers. I have not since moved back from the city to a small town during COVID. This story is going to stick in my head next time I am out walking in the woods or on my bike." Joseph 22 said, "I think you encountered the mimic. They will impersonate a human woman crying and sometimes screaming to see if they can lure people deeper into the woods." This is the end of the story and the comment section. Please write down your thoughts in the comments section. Also do subscribe to keep the channel going. Thank you for watching.